Gaslighting is one of the most misunderstood forms of psychological manipulation. Most people think gaslighting is just lying, but that definition barely scratches the surface. Gaslighting is not about deception in a single moment. It's about gradual psychological conditioning. It doesn't aim to convince you of a lie. It aims to convince you that your perception of reality is unreliable. And once that happens, control becomes effortless. In this video, we're going to explore the hidden psychology of gaslighting, how it works, why it's so effective, the damage it leaves behind, and most importantly, how people begin to reclaim their sense of reality. At its core, gaslighting is a form of covert psychological domination. Unlike overt abuse, gaslighting rarely looks aggressive. There are no obvious threats, no clear attacks. Instead, it works through subtle contradictions. You remember something happening. They insist it didn't. You express discomfort. They tell you you're overreacting. You raise a concern. They reframe it until you feel guilty for bringing it up. Over time, these moments accumulate, and slowly, something shifts inside you. You stop asking, "Why are they doing this?" and start asking, "What's wrong with me?" That question is the psychological turning point. Gaslighting works because the human mind depends on consistency to feel safe. Our sense of identity is built on memory, emotion, and interpretation. When those foundations are repeatedly questioned, the brain enters a state of instability. The mind doesn't collapse immediately. It tries to adapt, and adaptation, in this case, means self-doubt. Instead of rejecting the manipulator's version of reality, the brain begins to compromise. Maybe I misunderstood. Maybe I remembered it wrong. Maybe I am too sensitive. This is not weakness. It's a survival response, because the mind chooses doubt over chaos. Gaslighting consistently operates through three psychological mechanisms. 1. Confusion. When reality is repeatedly contradicted, the brain struggles to anchor itself. Confusion creates mental fatigue. Fatigue reduces resistance. The more mentally exhausted you are, the less energy you have to challenge what's happening. Confusion is not a side effect of gaslighting. It's the goal. 2. Dependence. Once self-trust erodes, something else replaces it: external validation. The gaslighter becomes the reference point for what's real, what's reasonable, and what's acceptable. At this stage, the manipulator no longer needs to argue. Their perspective is automatically given more weight than your own. Control becomes internalized. Gaslighting cannot survive scrutiny. That's why manipulators often discredit your friends, undermine your support system, create distance between you and anyone who might validate your experience. Isolation ensures that their version of reality goes unchallenged. Gaslighting often follows recognizable patterns: denial of facts, insisting something didn't happen when it did, minimization, dismissing emotions as exaggeration, projection, accusing you of their own behavior, repetition, repeating false narratives until they feel true, reframing, turning your boundaries into character flaws. Each tactic serves the same purpose: to weaken your trust in yourself. The damage caused by gaslighting doesn't disappear when the relationship ends. Many victims experience long-term psychological effects: persistent self-doubt, anxiety around decision-making, difficulty trusting emotions, loss of identity, fear of asserting boundaries. This is why gaslighting is so destructive. It doesn't just manipulate behavior, it alters self-perception. And when someone no longer trusts their own mind, they become vulnerable to further control. Gaslighting is not about misunderstanding. It's not about poor communication. It's about power. Gaslighters fear being challenged, losing control, exposure. By destabilizing your perception, they eliminate resistance before it ever forms. Truth becomes irrelevant. Dominance becomes the priority. Recovery from gaslighting starts with recognition, not confrontation, not explanation, recognition. When you understand the pattern, the spell begins to weaken. From there, external validation helps recalibrate reality. Boundaries disrupt the manipulator's access. Distance restores psychological clarity. Rebuilding self-trust takes time, but every moment you choose to listen to your own perception again, you reclaim a piece of yourself. That's why gaslighting is the hidden psychology of control. It doesn't destroy you all at once. It dismantles you slowly, by teaching you to doubt yourself. And once you understand gaslighting, you stop feeling powerless, because clarity kills manipulation. If this video helped you understand gaslighting more deeply, subscribe to The Enlightened Mind for psychology decoded without distortion.